Okay, moving on. We have Data Kid and Cubic Pain, Data Kid VIP. So let's get that going.
Awesome. All right. You want to go first or you want me to go?
Um, I'll go. I'll go. I like the idea of this track a lot. I think the flow is sick. But there's one thing that I just can't seem to like shake on it, and there's like this like layer of distortion that's underneath the basses. Or I don't know if like the mix is like muddy or anything, but I feel like if you could like try to like lower that layer of distortion down somehow, or like make it flow with like the basses more, or it might even be the sub. I don't know, but something's clashing in there. I would say go into the mix a little bit more. Um, but other than that, I like the idea of the track. I think it's good.
So I think he's probably getting at like around uh you know 150 to 300 hertz, give or take. In that range, maybe a little, high lows, low mids, type of thing. But anyways, I would say as well, giving a bit of dynamics to the tune by taking a section and not having the sub under it during the drop. So maybe for like two bars or a bar at least, just to have a little bit of like dynamics because the sub is rolling the whole time throughout the drop. Nothing wrong with it, but I feel like giving a little bit of breathing room on the sub. Or if you have a fill bass or something like that, that fill bass will have like a different sub layer, so it gives a little bit more dynamics to the drop. But it flows, so that's for sure. And it's not boring by the end, even though it's like more simple. So it's not like boring or anything. I just think having a bit more mixing touch up. But yeah, your turn. You can go, Corey. Not your turn.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with the mix down. Especially, there's some songs that I really always feel that like, you know, um, need that little bit of extra fine tuning that, when you make especially with this style of dubstep, you could make that mix down shine and actually sometimes make the song. Because I do like this sub movement. I do think that I agree that maybe even like just some stabbier different bits or something to give a little bit more dynamic to the bass would be good. But other than that, yeah, I like it. Cool tune. Not sure if Solaroid wants to interject or anything like that, but I think you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. Just needs work and love on the mix down.
Yeah, I think you all nailed it on the head, to be honest. There's nothing I can really add to this. Thank you, Data Kid, for sending this in.
And the ending, I like the ending too. Nice, unique ending. You know, so.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, we have Fear Unknown and Omi with Crusher.
That one was sick. I like that one a lot. your sound design, your guys' sound design was really on point with this one. There was like a break, I think at like a minute 50, might have been a little bit before that, like tied the song in really well. And the second drop was super sick. I like the melodic like vibe you guys had to it, like melodic touch, I guess you would say. But yeah, sick ass tune.
Sven would be proud with the Crow's Nest vibes for sure. Or I shouldn't say Crow's Nest vibes, but I should say Evil Wave. It's got some Evil Wave vibes. I think that's what it is to me. I love it. It's got your guys' vibes too. Remind me of Evil Wave a bit. Anyways, there's one part. It's during like midway through the first drop where you have like that long sustain bass. I don't know exactly what what time it is during it. I'd almost like to hear it again just so I could reference it. But it's like that long. It's like a little bit farther back, maybe.
I think we were talking about this.
No, a little bit like to the beginning. Solar. Yeah, just play it. Just play it. So it's that big, long, screechy bass, but when it comes back in again, I think like in 16 bars or whatever, you don't have to play it, but he'll know what I'm saying. If you put like a breakbeat pattern, like or an almond type beat underneath it, it might sound really good. I mean, it grooves completely fine without it, but maybe some sort of breakbeat fill pattern underneath it during that long bass when it comes out like in 16 bars, he'll know what I'm saying. So other than that, I think it was really good. But that one breakbeat pattern I wanted to suggest. Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, so really dope tune. The sound design is fun. I have to harp on what you said right back there. Some just things to like kind of give it a little bit more flavor, just a few little like maybe like a break almond. Some more interesting fills that kind of variant from some things in the first bit. I really do like how it goes into kind of a melody. I like you said, I wouldn't say melodic, but there's a bit of a melody on like on the actual track, which is kind of fun to hear when it's done kind of at the same time atonally. Cool tune, yeah.
Cool tune, man. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think this tune is solid all round, so I have no feedback to add on.
Yeah, we've started strong this stream.
Yeah, this stream is scarily
yeah,
good submissions.
Yeah,
which is good. It's better than no submissions. You know what I mean? I'd rather have be 2 heaters of tracks than too much heaters than no heaters.
So. Yes, staying optimistic here. We'll just wait for someone to troll us soon. I know that'll happen.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have Jasmine with Murderer.
Murderer.
that one was sick. I like the intro with the sample that you had going on, and then I think that was the Carlito's Way. Here Comes the Pain sample, right? Yeah, that shit's dope. Your sound design's really sick, and I like the flow on this one a lot too.
So the only thing I would say is for the second drop, you do a lot of like the I guess like cutting out like the lows and highs and everything, and making it very the stereo feel very you know the way it makes the people do with the psych out drops and blah blah blah. Basically the psych out area, making it super mono blah blah blah. I would say the one thing is instead of doing like the same effect for the start of every 8 bar kind of thing, or 4 bar, is I guess it was 8. But anyways, maybe doing like a tape stop with it, kind of having a little bit of different than doing the same effect to start out the next section for the second drop, and maybe have like a tape stop added at one of the sections or something like that. Either starting at the one or ending on the bar, so when it goes into the when you bring everything back to full spectrum. I feel like overuse that type of filtering. You know what I mean? So maybe throwing a different type of jazz on it with like a tape stop or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I could say definitely good tune, and I could agree with you on the trying to change up that kind of flow when you do the next drop. I also feel like it could use a little bit more brightness in the high end, especially with the kind of gun stabs. I think could use a little bit more, especially when you go straight with that, going to mono false drop. Besides that, yeah, a little bit of touch work on the variation, like you said, but overall, good tune.
Yeah, I agree. I think this tune would go off live like really well. If this is like tune mixed in well, this tune would slap live. So good job on that aspect. Besides that, I think we can move on. Thank you for submitting your tune there. Next we got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with Dreadful and Lodian. Let's listen, shall we?
Sick tune. I like the choir that you guys had in the intro, and then I also like that on the second intro where you guys had like the break beat come in. And I like how you guys have like distortion on your basses, but it's not bad. It's like it's distorted like right, I think. It's like a good stomper tune for sure. Yeah.
The one thing I would say, yeah, I agree with everything. The one thing I would say though is maybe for the snare. Um, well, I guess it would be your kick and snare, but you can just have it sidechained to your snare. If you have Pro MB, maybe doing a bit of sidechaining, like your low mids to your snare, just so you might be ducking out a little bit more low mids from your, with multiband, and having sidechained to your snare. But other than that, just have your snare a little bit cleaner, or when it hits. But other than that, sounds great.
So yeah, I would have to agree. A little bit of more side chain. The mix sounds a little blown for my flavor. I would say depending on how you're doing, what you're putting on your master chain, and then making sure the side chaining is on point, but then also from there, I don't know, tone some of the the low end and a little bit, maybe even a little bit of extra, just additive and subtractive EQing, so that more things kind of sit in place better. Besides that, yeah, neat tune. Me likeys, twinkle twinkle.
Yeah, I read this. I was like, this is either gonna be really sick or just like really memey, and I'm so glad it's really cool because
Yeah,
it's like amazing, and I like how it has like a horror-esque like twist to it as well. It's really cool.
yeah, and then it got me like Googling whether or not Twinkle Twinkle Little Star was copywritten. And I'm like, does someone, but no, I don't think it is. Though I think Disney would love to actually say they did, but we'll see.
Sure hope not. Sure hope not. Thank you for sending this in. This is really cool. Send some more stuff in because I'd love to hear the progress of it. Moving on, we have Mr. Muffin featuring Neurona with King of the Jungle. So let's get started with this.
Bienvenido a la jungla, here the king of the jungle rugir, yeah. Rona, yo, king of the jungle, yeah. Bienvenido a la jungla, ahora escucha al león rugir. Está llena la luna, estamos en busca de ti. El gatito nos gruña, que si no lo haremos sufrir. Bienvenido a la jungla, here the king of the jungle rugir. Here the king of the jungle rugir. Bienvenido a la jungla, ahora escucha al león rugir. Está llena la luna, estamos en busca de ti. El gatito nos gruña, que si no lo haremos sufrir. Bienvenido a la jungla, here the king of the jungle rugir. Bienvenido a la jungla, ahora escucha al león rugir. Está llena la luna, estamos en busca de ti. Que el gatito nos gruña, que si no lo haremos sufrir. Bienvenido a la jungla, here the king of the jungle rugir. Here the king of the jungle rugir. Here the king of the jungle rugir. Here the king of the jungle. Rona, yo, king of the jungle, yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'll go first with this one. Glad to see most of these tracks got some unique outros and all that. But anyways, so regarding Mixdown, I would say the whole storyline of this track makes sense. You know, like there is a story here for sure, regardless of like if the sound design isn't, if the sound design could be tweaked at certain spots or whatever else. Like everything, it makes sense the story. Um, but I would say I would say your intros and bridges maybe should be turned down a bit. You could do that by, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do the whole. You could do every group down maybe by like 1 dB for your intro. Or you don't have to do every group, but or you could do it by like your pre-master as well. Have it maybe down by like 1 dB or half a decibel. Basically, just have it be like a decibel or half a decibel lower than your drop, and same with your bridge section as well. Just so your drop feels a little bit bigger. It isn't clipping, but meaning it isn't above 0, but it feels bigger just because your intro is brought down in your bridge. And then sound design, I feel like your talking bass, the one that's a little bit like the talking growl, that's a little bit washed out kind of feeling, maybe could be a bit bigger sounding because it feels it's due to like the way the synth is. I think it feels a little bit washed out compared to your other basses, even though it's a main sound. So maybe getting it a little bit more in your face without distorting it and fucking it. But anyways, sorry for a long rant. Anyways,
I like this track. I think there's, like Andrew said, the story is there. I really like the vocal sample going on. Like the chat said about the vocals being hollow, I feel like you could do more processing to them to make it sound more in the mix. Also with the hats too, I feel like you could like either turn them down a little bit or like maybe take out a little bit of high end from them. But other than that, it was a really sick tune. This is something that I could definitely hear at like the Do-Lab stage or something like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for lack of a better reference, but yeah, sick tune.
Yeah, I think you guys touched all the bases. Neat tune. Of course, since you guys have pretty much said everything that I would say, I'm gonna just kind of continue on to the next one. I think Solaroid, you want to do, yeah.
Thank you for sending this tune in. This is really unique. I don't think I've ever heard anything like that before. Moving on, we have NVLL or Null, however you want to pronounce that, with Annihilate.
Novel.
So I don't know if it's my headphones, but something about this mix sounds a little like compressed. Am I tripping on that?
No, it feels a little flat.
Okay, yeah. So I think more dynamics will somehow.
I would say that
It
midsection.
could be if like you have something on like your master that could be doing that. Also, I feel like your intro could be more exciting, especially since the drop is like heavier. Like I get it, like the open intros and stuff, but maybe if you added like, I mean, you know, people use vocal samples or like just like some more effects or something going on. Maybe like a bigger like build up section to where really building up the track. But I think the tune is sick. It's a dope idea. Definitely, I would say just try to fix the mix a little bit, give it more width. You know what I'm saying? But not too much. I don't know.
So, yeah, I think for me, it feels a little bit like the mids aren't getting enough love. You know, maybe try getting a little bit of love between like 400 and 700 hertz, maybe 500 and 700 hertz. Yeah, but other than that, like the idea makes sense. And for the intro, I don't believe there was any war drums, unless I'm tripping. I just completely forgot. But maybe adding some war drums into the intro to help, make it a little more lively, if you will. So.
Also, I'd like to hear a more present snare, like something with a more like hit to it, more transient, and like even like a tail to it, where it kind of just rings out.
Yeah, I think that covers a lot of it. I think it really is important when you're, especially if you're doing what I would say like is reminiscent of, early 2000 aughts bro step. The mix down really needs to be there. That's like a really core function of the track at that point, because it's just that there's so much going on there. And if not, if everything's not in its proper place, it sounds just messy in general, and it does sound like there's something that's on the master. But I think, yeah, just elbow grease is a cool idea. Just need some tender love and care on the mix down and stuff, and a little bit extra work on the actual overall composition.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
The tune has like this. Okay, I don't use Ozone, but whenever I use Ozone, it always did like this thing to the track where it would make like the intro sound louder than the drop. So I don't know if you have Ozone on it, but what I do on my master is literally just an EQ and G clip. Like maybe that could help. Maybe like something like a multi-band or something on your master is like taking away from the actual dynamics of it. It would be something to try. All right, that's all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you guys covered it all. So thank you for sending this track in. Hope we can hear some more in the future for you. Moving on, we have a submission from Styx, which is a Doom Thesis remix. Doom Thesis, I'm not even going to pronounce that. Styx and Fateful remix. Alright, let's...
Le Messi Noir?
I'm so glad you're here, Corey, because I'm British, I can't pronounce nothing.
I mean, I'm American, I'm even worse at it, and I said it okay, man. Come on. Dropping the ball there, bro. Let's get
Alright, let's get going.
La Mesa Noir, I tell you what.
The thought of dying alone.
That's a sick one. First off, I really like the sound design on this. I would really like to hear like a different flow switch on the B section. I feel like that would bring like a more of an energy to a track like the first for like the A section. Also, I feel like in the build up, there's the part where you bring in the flow, but you already have that psych out before the drop hits. So maybe, well, personal preference, like I would probably just like extend the build up more and leave that tease of the drop just for the psych out. I feel like that would be more impactful. But other than that, this is really sick, and I like where it's going.
Yeah. Basically everything. He's the rhythm master, not me. So yeah, I think it's
dubstep.
Yeah, I think it's all on point. I mean, I think the only thing. Can you play the second half of the drop? Just for bars. Okay. So maybe if you added some like background vocals during the B section, you don't have to have them like maybe it doesn't have to be like on the 2 or the 4 necessarily. You can have it like slightly off grid, but kind of making the B section maybe come alive a little bit with some background vocals might be nice. Doesn't have to be like a chant like something corny. It could be. I think Phase One does a great job with like I know it's not the same genre necessarily or same style, but Phase One does a great job making vocals really fill up the drop and add to like a B section or A section. Anyways.
Okay, so yeah, I don't quite know the original tune. I was gonna try to grab it up on my phone, but that got a little slightly distracted. But so that being said, I'm not gonna make too much any points about the written of the strong structure and stuff like that. I think the mixdown is pretty clean. I would suggest maybe having a little bit more hi-hat movement as the song progresses to kind of give it a little bit more of a push. But yeah, cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Phrase of the century.
No, yeah, I'm a boomer. I think I'm cool when I use that.
Yeah, I really like this tune. I know Doom Thesis is getting very good. I've been like following them for a little while, and I know Styx is like very good as well. So hearing the sort of like Doom Thesis Styx remix is like a nice little touch. I wasn't really expecting, but yeah, this is nice. I'd love to hear like a switch on the second drop. Yeah. Thank you for submitting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Soundrec with The Search.
Your God. I perceive beyond this realm. My search continues.
Damn. Hey, good shit, Soundwreck. shout out to Soundwreck, real. That's the homie. Yeah, that's fire, bro. I really like that little hard side section you got in there. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, overall sick tune. I don't really have anything to critique about. I like your kicks.
Yeah, the track was so good that it made me realize my headphones were on backwards. Anyways, if the start of the second drop, you have a respace that. Can you play it one more time? So the start of the second drop.
Switch it!
All right, yeah, it was that Reese right there. Really sick Reese, but I feel like the body could be a little bit more beefy. I don't want to say like Amp from Serum or whatever else, but Tantrum's really sick as well. If you're not in Serum, Tantrum's a really sick distortion plugin. But however you want to do it, but maybe making it just a little bit more beefy of a respace, or maybe it's my headphones, but yeah, that's the only sound or only part, anyways.
Yes, big tune. I don't really have anything else other to say than I quite thoroughly enjoyed that tune, and the Dutch Amigos, don't, let's go. Still right?
Yeah, this tune is sick.
Yeah, it slaps.
I completely agree with Doom Thesis. I would not be mad if he made like a full hard side version of this as like a VIP or something and just released it alongside it, because I would jam to both of these equally as hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job. I have no like proper feedback. Yeah, good job, man. Thumbs up of approval from me. From all of us.
Yes.
So moving on, we have demos. Sick. Right, we're gonna listen to the first one. From, I'm gonna call you Gus.
Hey guys. Let's go.
Yeah, I really like this one. Sound design's sick. For whatever reason, during the second drop, that new bass, if you can you play the last 8 bars, second drop. All right. So that new main bass you have come in, it feels a little bit. It's really good sound design. It just feels a little bit too far back for whatever reason. At least in my opinion, a little bit. But maybe if you're able to get it like another decibel up without it sounding bad or anything like that, it's like small, personal preference. But if you like where it's sitting at mixed wise, But anyways,
I like this tune. I would say, yeah. Can you play the beginning of the first drop real quick? All right. So basically, just I think mix down like a little more TLC on the bases would be a good idea. For some reason, like even on the the other bass you brought in on the second drop, sounds like it could be a little bit more tweaked. I don't like maybe like on the high end, like a little bit. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I like the track, but I just think some more time on the mix down would do you some good. Sick track.
go for it, Corey.
Oh, my dumbass had me muted. Yeah, I was actually wondering where that was going to go, and I ended up thoroughly enjoying where it went. I think, yeah, more TLC with maybe not even the mix as much as just some of the compression. It looks a little heavily compressed, and sounds like it too. I think, considering there's not too much dynamics already with the intro, because the intro is using a bass bit, really needs that little bit of extra TLC for it to really kind of give the sound design the respect it deserves, because it was really cool sound design. I do agree, and that was really cool. And I like the flow, so I think the arrangement's good. So yeah, just a little bit more TLC, like Homeboy said.
Yeah, I agree. There is a few bits in here where I'm like, there's some high end that is like really piercing. Especially near this start here, there's like one bass that like comes in at the end of a phrase that has like not stupidly, like a lot of high end, that I feel like if you can just sort of control that a little bit, that'd be neat. Personally, I think the second half of the first drop gets just a tiny bit messy with that new bass that you bring in, but I feel like that might just be personal preference here. Other than that, I think this is sick. Everyone else has covered everything that I would have mentioned.
Yeah, sick submission. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
thanks.
Moving on, we have Blood Pact with Dat Track and Blood Pact Pain. So let's give this a listen.
Just.
Sheesh.
My day.
Can we hear that up to drop section?
Which one?
Just like from the build up to the drop.
Oh, which one? Second or
Oh
first?
yeah, my bad. The first one.
Alright.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. I like how like it crunches, but it doesn't sound bad. You know what I mean? It's like good distortion. On the second drop though, I remember hearing like I don't know if there's reverb in it or something, but there's like something that's making the mix sound a little muddy, but like white noise muddy. So I'm not really sure what that could be, but I'll go in there and check that. Sick tune, guys, for sure. I would like a copy of that.
And maybe band passing with like Pro MD, some of the highs out, then have it side chained to like a snare kick or something like that, or maybe even to like the hi hats, so it slightly ducks out when the hi hats come in, or cymbals.
Yeah, you could probably do like some kind of multi-band thing to it. What is it? Sorry, Pro Q. The dynamic EQ would actually probably get that.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, Pro. Yeah. You gotta have Q3 though, can't have Q2. But anyways, the one thing I would say, it's such a great tune, but the transition into the bridge, give it some love. It feels a little bit just too immediate. I think it needs a little bit washed out. And it's like, if you play the first drop leading into the bridge, it feels a little bit too just like blah. Like the last 4 bars of the first drop when it goes. Like the way the melody starts up, it feels like it starts up too quick. Maybe have like a filter on the melody, like it's reverbed out and slowly comes in. It feels a little bit just too right away. But yeah, that's my opinion.
You want to add anything else, Corey?
No, really love the tune. Fucking absolute banger. Yeah, normally I'm kind of a stickler when it comes out to the squashed out tunes, but if it's done right, it's done right, and this is for sure. Like it sounds crunchy, but it's not. Like things actually have a good place in it. So, yeah, no, and I do think maybe a little bit more, tender, love, and clear on the second drop, but I really love the second drop. It's nice to hear, like kind of a good take on, I guess, what people were saying. Swear 4.
Yeah, it's a really good switch. Really good.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like I would love to hear like this first drop just be extended and hear like a switch of bass, or not like you've got in the second drop, but sort of like play around with that bass you've got there and just extend the drop a little bit. I think that would be quite a cool thing that would go a bit crazy in clubs.
That's what VIPs are for. But no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, VIP it and just change it, right? Nah. I agree. I think transition, do a little bit of work, like you said. But otherwise, this is a sick tune. I really like this. Thumbs up of approval. Thumbs up. Moving on, we have Solid Alibi with Pinched.
burn the place down. Yeah. 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 Down. Burn it down. Yeah. 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 Down. Burn the place down. Yeah. 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 Down. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yo, big love to everyone that's making sick outros this stream. Like,
Yep. It's not just an impact and done. Anyways, I go back.
So this concept of this tune is really sick. I like the elements of, I don't know, would you say jazz to it?
Yeah.
I think it's very smooth. I really like the drop too. Personally, out of the two drops, the second drop is my favorite. I feel like it flows a lot better than the first drop. I would, and I don't know if you're open to it, but I would like open up another project file and switch the drops around and see how it goes coming in like immediately. And I would say like for like the intro and like your like break section for the second drop, add maybe more drums, like kind of a more intricate drum flow. I feel like that's what I hear when I was listening to it. But other than that, really sick ass tune for sure.
Yeah. There's not really much I'd even say about this one. I think it's good. This is the first one I'm just gonna shut my mouth with. So.
Yeah, no, really cool tune. I really like the interesting notes at the intro of kind of a weird arrangement. It makes you feel unsettled at the same time. It still works, which is kind of odd enough. So I liked that. Yeah, well, A1.
that's another thumbs up from me. You even got a follow. I'm following this. I want
Yeah,
to see what other
but-
stuff you've got.
Standards on this submission has been tight. I love
It's
it.
been really sick.
I've just been sitting here actually just vibing, enjoying the music, man. It's like, shit. All right, let's go.
Yeah, this was really sick. Thank you for sending this in.
On to the next one.
Next we have Voyager with Punishment.
Run it back.
Really good tune.
We're not
Really
done
good.
talking about how awesome the tunes have been.
I
It
think
won't
there's
stop.
I think there was one. Can you play the last drop? I guess yeah. Play the whole last drop. And I'll just point out one. No, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, all right. It was just like an audio glitch thing. So I heard something like it was just like from the stream. Yeah, there's nothing that was there. Everything sounds good. There was like something on the snare that hit during OBS, but all good.
The only thing I have to say is that I need that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, fuck, that was some really good tear out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Nothing else really to say.
All I'm
Yeah,
saying,
totally.
that's going in the thumbs up category, and you're
Yeah.
getting a follow. I wish I had a camera so you could see every single time I can go thumbs up. So I'm just like looking at the camera going thumbs up.
We like.
We like very much. Yeah, this is sick. Agree with everything you said. Deserved a wheel.
It did.
Big up.
Big tune.
Thank you for sending this in. Moving on, we have Rasta with Mad Scientist Master 2. So there's more than one master. So if this one's bad, give us the first one. No, I'm kidding. Let's give this a listen.
Welcome back. Now we must monitor the viability of our transformation. Only then will we know if our experiment works. It's time to begin.
It's a solid tune right there. I would say I want to hear like a louder. I feel like the clap or snare that you have is being drowned out by the kick. I would just say turn that up or like replace it. But yeah, sick tune.
So there's a story here. I think that it drags on too much by the end of the second drop. I think maybe you should shorten it up by 16 bars, or do more of a switch up somehow. It just feels by the last 16 bars, I kind of know what's coming, in my opinion. So it's one of those things where maybe just having it 16 bars shorter. Then for the snare you have, or every time you have that reverse snare that's going into your snare, it feels like the sample itself could be shortened a little bit. Like the end of the the end of this reverse snare that you have leading into it feels like it's too close to the transient, and it kind of like ruins the transient of your snare reversing into it. So, anyways, other than that, solid tune. But yeah.
No, solid tune. I think there's a little bit of some syncopation issues on the build up right before the drop. It's I don't know. There's a couple bits that just didn't seem like they were hitting together. So I would try to clean up the build up before the drop, and then try to do what you can to make it sound less draggy on-y. And yeah, good work.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. There's nothing I can really add to this. I think the mix down's pretty clean from what I can hear. There's no major mix down issues from what I can hear. I don't know if you guys hear anything there.
No, yeah, and the shorting thing's subjective. You don't want to, you don't want to. It's your track at the end of the day, but it's kind of more keeping the audience just. Everybody's so ADHD today in the world of today. So, but anyways.
Yeah. But otherwise, sick tune. Thank you for sending this in. I hope to hear more from this because I love this sort of style of dubstep. Sort of almost like a nod back to the sort of stuff we used to hear a couple of years ago, and I love it. So yeah, thank you for sending this in. Okay. I'm gonna listen to the first one.
Sounds yeah.
Yeah, we're only gonna listen to one here. Adeptist with Reconjured Souls.
really sick track. I think the only thing that I'd say is I wish there was like a vocal sample just to help tie everything together. And if you find one, you know what I mean. Just like the story, tying the story. It doesn't need one, but I feel like if you found a good vocal sample to help, it would be that much better. But
I
yeah,
agree with that. But yeah, sick tune.
go on, Corey.
Yeah, no, dope tune. Could agree. You could use. Was that the tune that they wanted us to play, or is this just the first tune that was on the top of the demos?
This was just the first tune on the top of the demos.
Okay. Maybe in our spare time later on, we'll take a listen to the rest of the tunes. So we couldn't hear everything. And we're running on an hour and 45 right now. Cool.
Yeah.
So we still have a handful of tunes left to listen, I'm sure. So, dope tune. Yeah, could use a bit of a theme. The theme can often make the tune. Yeah, no problems here.
Yeah, don't force a vocal. I'm not saying that. If you find the right one and it works out.
Yeah, it's almost worse if you force one. But if you can find a good theme, that can often really make the tune.
Yeah, I agree. This tune is really sick. I like the sort of eerie atmosphere you've got going on there. At one point, I thought it was like the Super Mario Haunted Mansion, like eerie music theme in the background there. But no, this is sick. This is really cool. I'm gonna sit down and listen to the rest of these tunes you sent in a little bit later. But yeah, good job. Thumbs up from me. Moving on, we have Doyle with Camp Crystal Lake. So let's give this.
Oh,
Doyle.
Oh shit.
Did you know a young boy drowned here? He was my son. And today is his birthday.
You don't need to stay here. Messenger of God. From a death curse. You're doomed to stay. Get out of here, man.
Big tune from Doyle.
Yeah. So I only had one suggestion, but I don't even think I can suggest it. Because you do a snare switch up anyways in your second drop. And the thing I was going to say is maybe doing a snare switch up for your last B section of your first drop. So just like the last 4 bars of your first drop. But it might be too many snares. Yeah, or too many different snares. But I mean, if anything, there's no right or wrong. And anyways, that's all.
I really like this tune. I like the flow that you have going on. I think it's very well put together. Thumbs up.
Yeah,
Thumbs up.
always love to hear me some Doyle. Fuck yeah. Yeah, nothing else really for me to say. My dog has also been just completely going at me, so I have to walk her for just 2 seconds, so I might miss the next tune. So I'm just gonna let you guys know. So if
Yeah.
I'm not back in time,
Okay. We'll give you
but-
5 seconds. We'll give you 5 seconds.
yes, as fast as possible. I'll be right back.
I'm just gonna add my 2 cents and say that I agree with what chat's saying. That the sub is there, but I feel like if you just brought up just a tiny bit, I feel like it would make the drop have a bit more impact. Other than that, I think this tune is very sick. I love the structure of this tune, and yeah, I don't really have too much feedback other than that. You get a thumbs up from me. Big thumbs up. Next, we have Spell Thief and Exile with an ID that's playable. Don't know if we want to. Don't know if we want to try and long this out a little bit for Meg. Let's have a little conversation. How's life?
Okay, yeah.
How's life going?
Chat, yeah. How's chat doing today? What'd you guys have for lunch or dinner? There's no way it's breakfast for any of you. I mean, maybe it's breakfast for somebody here in Australia. Or yeah, I guess it would be Australian breakfast. I guess maybe someone's from Australia.
You guys have breakfast?
Too.
It's breakfast, yeah, exactly, yeah. So for mellow, yeah.
You guys have breakfast? You don't skip breakfast like I do?
I try to do like an English muffin with like peanut butter or something like that, or oatmeal. Like I try to do like a light breakfast just so I have something in my stomach. Or I do like a protein shake. That's my thing. But eating a heavy breakfast like fucks your day in my opinion. I get too tired,
Yeah.
but that's just me.
Yeah, I usually skip breakfast. I'll have like a protein shake around maybe 3 o'clock, and then I'll just like usually.
I class
Yeah.
around about this time in my so it's like 10 to midnight here. Around about now is my breakfast because I always go and grab a bowl of cereal about this time. Because I'm strange.
Yeah, I think me and Brian might get some burgers or something after this. I haven't had breakfast today. This is the day I skip breakfast.
Yeah.
But after this, dude, we're getting something to eat.
Speaking of burgers, has chat ever been to a place called Rutgers? Have you been to Fuddruckers?
No, I don't know, but with
It's like
the amount of people
back
around the world
burgers,
right
But they sell like I
now.
don't know. Well, there's a place out here, right in California.
Yeah. very, very small area in the world.
Yeah, it's called Fuddruckers, and they sell like these like elk burgers and like ostrich burgers, and like it's just they have like very exotic meats. See, Fuddruckers, gas. He knows. Kairos knows.
But anyways,
I don't think
alright,
I don't think he's back. So let's
yeah, we can just go. Maybe it might get by the halfway.
yeah.
And yeah.
Right, so it's a Spell Thief. Yeah, big up burgers. Shout out to burgers.
Yeah, so shout out to burgers. Whoever said in chat. GVT, I appreciate you.
True. Yeah, so this is Spell Thief and Exile with a just ID. Let's give this a listen.
Baba Booey.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'd say is maybe sustain might be sick during the last or something like that. But other than that, like there's really not, it might ruin it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a personal preference thing. Maybe it might sound good, maybe it will. Maybe you've already tried it. And that's why it's not there. But other than that, yeah, really sick tune.
The sound design is insane, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really like the flow. Can we actually listen to the Psych Out and a little bit of the first drop? Just
Yes.
Baba Booey.
Let's listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, the tonality on those basses are so nice.
Yeah, and the only thing is like maybe for the last 8 bars of sustain that comes in like on the 3 after the first first 2 counts. But yeah, other than that, it sounds great. And
Yeah,
that's personal preference.
This tune is mad. I really love this like switch you've got going on here as well. It's like a nice change from the first half. So yeah, I don't have any feedback for this at all.
Yeah.
How about you, Meg? Oh, damn.
I'm sure he would say that he loves it without a doubt. I don't know what
Uh,
else he would say.
I will
So,
show Meg this after the stream, so I'm sure he will love
He's
this.
speechless.
yeah, he's speechless. Exactly. This man's got burgers and he's got jokes. Holy shit. What else do you need from a man or woman?
Oh, that was chat.
I know it was chat.
Oh, fuck.
These guys have too much nicotine today.
Bro, we
Nah,
ain't
I've
talk-
had too much
Anyways,
sipping on that ghost.
yeah, he's ghosted from the ghost.
Bro, we ain't talking about you. Nah,
Anyways.
this is cracked. Please
Yeah, good
finish
shit.
this and send this to us because this is actually like insane.
What was that, space leashes, bro? Yeah, unfortunately. I might just shave my fucking head so I stop hearing this bullshit. Anyways.
Hey
So-
yo, I might just skip this just because it's Skeletor. No, I'm kidding. This is
Yeah,
a
this guy's talking shit. Skip the shit.
yeah
That's
yeah.
the later bootleg.
Next we have no, I'm kidding. We have a Suicide Boys Cold Turkey Skeletor bootleg. So let's give this a listen.
to your back, you a ninja turtle with your whole damn body in a fucking hurt. I don't want to, if I have to, I will hurt you. And if my little ass can do it myself, my little homie will hurt you. Your burn is my bitch, I know you better hurt you. Yeah.
No names, but who else you see possible?
So, can you play this like at the end of the last or the end of the first drop going into the breakdown?
Right. Triple S, that said, don't disrespect. Baby, you don't want no problem. Who is that in the back? And the Mac, Triple S, that said, don't disrespect. Me got 100 more hoes just from the CP.
Okay. I think there's an audio click like on your second kick that comes in. And I know that sounds really dumb, but I feel like it's like a sample that has like a small audio click. I don't know if it's like such a minor thing, but I hate audio clicks. So just double check, like within the first, has to be within the first 2 bars or whatever, like the second, whatever it is right there. By the time I pause, there's like a small audio click that happens like right on the kick. And it sounds ridiculous, but I'm like a fucking nitpicker with audio clicks with like samples where they're not cut off. But other than that, love it, Jackson. In the second drop too, maybe for like your metal drums, maybe having like a layer of hi-hat slightly on it, so it just pops the kick out with like a little bit of brightness slightly. I don't know, kind of a personal, just to see if it sounds good. But yeah,
I'd say this song has major weed energy,
yeah,
and I'm gonna give it 100% weed.
yeah.
Nah, for real though, that shit's insane. Like, that's fucking fire, dog. Good shit. That second drop. Well.
Love it.
Well. Yeah, I agree. I love these basses that you got in the second drop. That like you just let them play, have like a bit of space. I really love that.
Oh yeah, it makes everything hit harder.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything hits that much harder. Yeah.
I don't know how you heard that clipping. I can't hear it, but
maybe it's my speakers, but not clipping. It's like a click, like like an audio sample has like a small click.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not really audible, and maybe I'm tripping balls, but maybe it's my headphone splitters. So don't go back and check it, Jackson. I'm a fucking asshole. That's what happens.
Nah, definitely go and check it and make sure it's perfect. Skeletor, you have 10 days to do this, otherwise reported, mate.
Yeah.
No, this is sick. I really like this.
10 days.
It's not even a little bit off. It's like, I don't know if you know what I mean. Jackson, you know what I mean by like an audio sample sometimes where it's not older cut. So, anyways.
100 weeds and a thumbs up.
He's back.
Hey, I'm back. Yep, sorry it took so long. Life is difficult when you have a kid. Just going and walking the dog, and then all chaos breaks loose.
No, you're all good.
So yeah,
looks like we just had some Jackson love.
Nah, we hate Jackson around here.
Oh yeah, fuck Skeletor. I forgot that.
Yeah, true.
That's a thing.
Everybody put a fuck Skeletor in chat.
Yes.
Moving on, we have Bad Omen with Burden of Knowledge. So let's give this a listen.
and then the throne heaven. And it was given unto him to make.
I love that every outro is being unique. So regardless if it's long or not, better than a fucking chop right at the end. But so I agree with what Chad's saying regarding a little more of a switch up in the second drop. Also think dynamically your pre-drop is too loud compared to your drop. It kind of makes the drop feel lackluster and anticlimactic. Not saying the drop isn't, not saying there isn't cool sounds, just like the pre-drop is, and then your build-up is a little bit too loud as well, I feel like, compared to your drop. So maybe dynamically, we're making your drop and your bridge a little bit quieter and, or not drop, sorry, intro and bridge a little bit quieter so that your drop feels a little bit louder. So what I'm saying is don't just boost your drop. Try to work with the other elements that are too loud and kind of maybe lower them and make, going lower is more of your friend than going louder with, mixing and mastering. So, anyways.
I like the intro on the track. I definitely want to hear more elements to, like, they say, hype it up. Like, I know it's a very open, but I feel like you could use like minor, like drum movements somewhere in there to where it'll, like, create a bit. And as far as like the drop, I'd say like go in and like work on the flow a bit more. It's kind of like repetitive, but like it could be more interesting.
Repetitive's good, but just an interesting repetitive.
Yeah. Just work on it some more, but sick tune overall, I'd say.
Yeah, I think you guys have harped on pretty much everything that I was going to say. Dope tune. Thank you for submitting, and yeah, I'm glad to see every single song's been doing decent outros. I was actually afraid the outros were going to die out once I saw people starting to make shorter and shorter and shorter songs. I was like, what's next? We have like 30-second songs that keep on making you want to press play so you get more likes, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the algorithm, baby.
Spotify likey.
My only like critique that hasn't been covered would be the vocal in the intro. There's like a lot of high end in that vocal that was like really piercing my ears. I would just sort of get that under control, and then, like everyone else has said, just make sure that the pre-drop is not louder than your drop, because then it becomes very anticlimactic. Yeah, otherwise, dope tune. I really like this. Thumbs up from me. That goes into the thumbs up collection. Moving on, we have Zookeeper with Grease.
Turning back now. We're falling to pieces. We're barely breathing, breathing. We're falling to pieces.
Okay, so that was definitely an interesting track. I was not expecting the intro to sound like that, considering everything was like heavy that we've been listening to. I really like it though. It has like a cinematic vibe to it. And then you went into like the metal section. I thought that was pretty cool. As far as like the drop itself sounds, I think you could like spend more time post processing or like even like tweaking them a little bit more to make them sound more interesting. I feel like there's a lot more that can be done to this track, but I like the overall idea and I think it's sick.
Yeah. So for me, without my annoying ass hair, I would say the one thing is dynamically your drop is too quiet compared to your intro. Kind of the same thing as the last track. Your bridge and your intro too loud compared to your drop makes the drop anticlimactic. Easier fix. I mean, not saying you can't bring up your drops. It sounds like, I mean, maybe you could, but I would say that it would be easier just to lower your intro and bridge by like a decibel. See how that sounds. You could also try turning your stereo. Um, like, so if you have a utility, just turn down your stereo width during the build up to like maybe 75%. So from the start of the build, like 8 bars, 8 bars away from the drop, maybe start turning down your stereo width down to like 75, 65%, and then come back up to 100 right when your drop happens to make it feel a little bit bigger. Kind of like you know, uh, using your elements so you don't have to like boost stuff, but Anyways, and the other thing I would say is maybe shorten up your bridge. Feels like your feels like your bridge is a little bit too long. So I would maybe cut out, like 8 bars or 16 bars, just so it doesn't feel it feels like it drags on a little. But I mean, the story is really good. Like the theme makes sense. So, I'm dragging on, I like it. So, anyways,
Yeah, couldn't agree more with what you just said. Don't think you were dragging on. But yeah, cool song. I do have to say, and it sounds like the metal transition is not in the same key as the vocal bit. So you might want to check that out because it sounds like there's something out of key in there. And I mean, you can still work with it. You can just, because I mean, there's always room for changing keys even in a song, but just try to figure out some way to where the vocals don't when it's over on top of it, and the metal dissonant stabs just doesn't seem like it's in the right key.
if you're
Auto tune it.
yeah, if you're in Ableton, maybe put it in sampler and then mess with the keys that way, the sample itself. But yeah.
And it did bring up a little bit of a chat about splice in the chat room, and I think it's really good to use splice when you can, but always a good thing to remember that as AI gets better at tracking metadata, things like elongated splice vocals can almost help, can actually hurt the syndication and you getting paid. So it's a good thing to look out for in the future. AI, they're about to
I
get us
didn't know
all.
that.
Yeah. It could actually basically pay the dude who made the sample back.
But then what's the point? Isn't Splice supposed to be like
royalty free? Yes, but there's some weird things about it when it comes towards, like, think about it, like nowadays we have AI that will, if they hear your song in the background of someone's video while they're at McDonald's, like driving through, right, and they got their song blasting, it can actually pick up, oh, that's like, Tremorr LAZYFLEX. Let's give them some moolah for being in this YouTube video that went viral because some dummy ate a milkshake, right? It could be very easy for the AI to screw it up, and if that's like, let's say the vocal bit on the main demo song of a vocal pack, sample or some shit like that, it could particularly pick up, especially if you use a lot of different parts from the sample pack, could pick it up and pay the person who made the sample pack just from it being, AI, and they won't be able to catch it.
Damn, that's wild.
You learn something new every day for music
dang,
marketing. Yep, there you go.
Music industry weird.
Yeah, crash course on Splice. So anyway.
Yep, yeah, there's some interesting videos on YouTube, Alpha says, that I totally agree. If I wasn't lazy, I would grab some for the chat. But yeah, explaining how all this royalty shit works. Very interesting. Solarite, should we hop onto the next tune?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, I really like the intro. I was like expecting to press play and it would just be like straight into it. Not sort of thing I was expecting to press play in here, but I'm not complaining in the slightest because I really liked it. I hope it is not a Splice sample, although the odds are that it probably is, but regardless, we've already had that conversation. Yeah. Thumbs up from me, please. Process the drop a bit more. Thank you. Moving on, we have Doom Thesis with Automation version 6.mp.
Let's go.
Have a listen to this.
We're gonna run that tall bastard straight down to hell.
Real.
Cause we're gonna run that tall bastard straight down to hell. We're gonna run that tall bastard straight down to hell.
That's a sick one. Your basses are really sick. Your basses are really sick on this track. I like the space you created. It sounds really nice. It's like
Yeah, really
the
full but
right,
spacey.
yeah, and it's not like too wide or anything either. It's like there is a part in the second drop. Can you play the initial second drop?
Because we're gonna run that tall bastard straight down to hell.
Wait, keep going. All right, pause it. Okay, you know that dun 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 part. I feel like the little dun 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 before it could be switched with that. I really like that flow, and I feel like if you ran with it a little bit in the second drop, that shit would be sick. Just my opinion. I mean,
Yeah, fuck his opinion.
yeah, fuck my opinion.
No. Yeah, I think it's a sick song. The outros keep on going. Well, everybody keeps doing good outros. Tip my hat to all of you. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I really don't. Other than what he said, I really don't have. Yeah, there's not really much. So Corey, take it away.
Yeah, no, fucking me likey. Big up Doom Thesis.
You know what? There is something. You can maybe, if you wanted to, throw an accent on your kick or snare for your second drop. It doesn't have to be every snare, but it could be like every other snare, an accent synth if it sounds good on your snare or kick. So
There you
it
go.
isn't
Some last minute.
just a random thing if you want to try.
Got anything to say there, Solar?
No, I don't have anything to add there. I think this mix is very clean, and I love like the tonality of the basses you got going there. So that is going into my thumbs up collection.
The clean was very mixed.
Yeah, the clean was very mixed. Yeah, send us demos, man. This is sick. I would love to hear more stuff.
Yes, please.
So moving on to the final one of the night before we wrap up here. We have Kairos with Tartarus version 6.
Appreciate everybody that submitted and made this, not like a one-track submission stream. So, and my apologies for me having double audio. I ended up having the browser in the background. That's what was wasn't. It was some amateur mistakes. But anyways,
No, that was fun.
Yeah,
I'm having fun.
I'm going to double that message and just say thank you for everyone that turned up today. If you all stick around till the end, we've got something neat to show you as well. So stick around. But yeah, until then, we have Kairos with Tartarus.
A slave to their beliefs. You suffer in silence. You will die for their sins. One of us. Nothing but a usurper. A false idol.
So hold on, I just want to say something regarding the submissions. If you guys want, I can listen to all of them and with Brian later on, and we'll give you guys feedback personally. Obviously, with Corey is the head honcho, Megalodon is the Don. No pun intended, but
What?
but anyways, I do feel for submitting a track and something not getting played. So I'll if you want my shitty opinion, I will. No, I'm just kidding. But I will give you feedback personally if you want. Apology that Corey's got a kid. It's been 2.5 hours and stuff. It's not. I'll definitely take a listen later on tonight with Brian. So I don't want anybody to feel like they wasted their time by hanging out here, and not having their track heard. So because I feel for you, and I don't like that shit. I don't like wasting my time either in 2.5 hours and the track play. So I'm not gonna sit here and not say something. So I apologize. But anyways, anywho, regarding feedback for this track, I feel like it drags on by the end. For the last drop, and if you're able to get more of a switch up, I feel like the bridge drags on a little bit as well. So maybe shorten up the bridge by 8 bars. Doesn't need to be, doesn't need to be the same amount of bars necessarily. So maybe shorten it up by 8 bars or something like that. Mix down could use a little bit of a mix. Tweaking in the drop, but I mean, there's a story here for sure, and the track makes sense. It's not like it's out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, I like this tune. I really like the first drop, and in regards to what Tremorr was saying about the second drop, I think you could go in there and
Just freshen it up a bit.
yeah, like I would just say like go in and VIP what you already have and try to make a more interesting flow. And then maybe even post processing your bases more. But I like it. I think it's sick. The flow in the first drop is really dope.
Yeah, I actually really like what you just said with VIP it. Sometimes you can, if you're wondering where you should go next with a tune, take the track and almost approach it like you're doing a VIP, or like, even a take yourself out of it, remix of my own track, kind of concept. And I mean, I sometimes even will just take, the waveform of the actual track and see, what if I was to make an edit? What could I do to make this better? Kind of a fun way to approach a tune whenever you're, trying to figure out if you're finished or not.
Yeah, I completely agree. And even if you don't use that edit, you always have it, just to have practice with it. So
Exactly. So yeah, I like what you said there. Overall, really great stream. I really appreciate everybody who put in. We had a lot of really great, amazing tunes, and this tune included. So just want to pick up everybody who came and tuned in. Like you said, if we didn't get to your song or anything like that, we're terribly sorry, and we'll definitely, one of us will reach out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, I will. I'm one of those guys where I've been there, done that, and I'm not trying to waste people's time. So I do apologize. That's all I can do. So
I just want to say on my behalf, thank you guys for tuning in and kicking it with us for these 2.5 hours. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Andrew as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's funny because before this, people even gonna send tunes, just kind of thinking no one was gonna participate, but
really
it means a lot, and I wish we could get through all these tunes. I know there's a lot more talent in there, so I know it sucks and it can be discouraging to not get your tune played and stuff, but don't give up. Just keep sending them in and still try to stay active, and yeah,
it's what it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna chime in here as well and just say that if you do want feedback, send tracks to our demo email as well. Just make sure you put in the title that you're requesting feedback. I know I'm personally in there every single day checking out every single tune, and if I can, I do try to reply with as much feedback as I can. And even if in the future we do another feedback stream, I'm sure if you two want to come on again in the future, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
I love giving feedback, because giving feedback inspires me to write music. So and to be honest, when you give feedback, if you don't learn something, from being a teacher, if you're not learning anything yourself, then there's no point in it. So yeah, I always love giving feedback. helps me out as a musician. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think feedback is very important, especially for people that are new to production. These streams always help out, so we try to get through as much as we possibly can. Showcase some incredible talent like we've seen today, and just sort of like help people push their sound a bit more. And I think
let's show them the surprise
yeah,
that you guys
I agree.
got.
So
Yeah.
we have a little surprise for everyone that has stuck around. I do want to thank everyone before I go ahead and do this, and thank everyone that's tuned in. Make sure you click the pre-save button for Tremorr and LazyFlex's King Shit. It should
Yeah.
be pinned in the chat. Make sure you go and pre-save it. Check it out. It's out on Monday. Anything you guys want to promote whilst you're here besides the tune?
We have some other stuff that might be dropping as well with this song later next week. So, just keep your eyes out.
A little surprise.
Yeah, we got some other stuff playing this track with Bypass. So just keep your eyes out. That's all we're gonna say. All right.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in, and here's the surprise.